everybody.
Hello.
Welcome.
How's the weather in Santa Fe, Vivian?
It's really nice right now. It's been
Yeah,
cold, but
yeah,
we're going to get a little bit of heat for the weekend, so it's kind of nice. Beautiful. The wind has died down a little bit, but it's very nice today, thankfully.
that's great. How about where you are, Shireen? How's the weather?
Um, oh, it's this week is hot. We feel like we're finally getting into Texas summer. So
Yeah,
we've got AC and fans on for sure. I think it says it's in the high 80s, but it feels like 100. So we're getting there.
yeah. Eric was just saying that it's over 100 where he
Hmm.
Palm Desert,
Oh
getting
Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
bet.
getting to be that. Anna, how about you? How's the weather where you are?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm in São Paulo. We are supposed to be in winter, but it's actually hot, so
Mm.
climate change. It's around like 25 Celsius, so I think it's 80s, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's winter, so it's not supposed to be this temperature, but anyway.
And Linda, how about you? How's it going there?
It's a little cool, but it's sunny and windy. So we're about 55 or 60 degrees. We have a little bit of rain coming in tomorrow. Typical spring in Montana.
So I was asking because the last time we were together, just a month ago,
Hmm.
there was snow. We were talking about
Yes.
snow in some of these spots.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah. Well, it's been a busy month at Redwood. We're ramping up towards Art Santa Fe, and I'm sure all of you have been busy planning your summers. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today is what are you doing? What's going on? Um, I know Vivian sent a newsletter the other day of some things that she'll be doing. Why don't you share that with the group, Vivian? What are you doing this summer?
Okay. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, I have a good summer planned, starting with, well, I'm in a show right now. Well, it just came down in Los Alamos, but the last 2 weekends in June will be the studio tour for Santa Fe. So, getting a lot of things ready for that, some smaller saleable items and many other things. And then of course, in July is the Art Santa Fe, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Um, and but they'll also be at the Albuquerque Airport at Sunport for the month of July in one of their display cases. So that was kind of came together really quickly and really excited about it. And there's not a whole lot to plan for that because I know what pieces I'll have, but I'll get a poster made. And so that's really good. And then towards the end of the year in October during the Balloon Festival, I'll have a residency at La Fonda Hotel for a weekend. And then also in December. So a lot going on. And I'm just kind of, I think about it all and run out of the house and and find a reason to do something different.
Yeah. Shireen, how about you? What have you guys got planned?
We just tried out a new show up in Dallas last weekend. Um, Kind of a smaller show called The Other Art Fair, and went up to that, and it was good. I feel like the overall vibe of shows has, ever since December in Miami, really shifted to just people being more excited and wanting to spend money and things like that. So it was fun. It was a different show because so many people were from Dallas versus you know, the Miami show and even San Diego and Santa Fe felt like the clientele was from so far away generally, right? Like we were shipping pieces that, you know, even in Miami, we delivered some, but a lot of it we took back with us and then shipped out to people. So it was kind of funny with so many people driving there and wanting to pick stuff up and leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's been good. It's been really good.
That's great. Linda, how about you? What have you got planned?
Mostly this summer, just creating more art and hopefully Art Santa Fe. I haven't firmed that up yet. I need to do that.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. But mostly just creating and getting my stuff organized.
Good, good. Anna, how about you? I know it's not summer, it's winter, but what have you got planned over the next few months?
Yeah, well, I don't have anything planned like for the like our winter here, but I do have a plan for the semester, for the second semester. It's actually been a busy first semester here. I got in a couple of shows and you know, and awards and things like this, which was really nice. And so last week I was in the São Paulo Photography Festival as a, you know, as a award thing. And it was great to see the work like printed in big sizes, and this was good. And then this coming weekend, there's another group show here in São Paulo. And then in September, I'm going to Amsterdam to this photography fair, which is supposed to be very nicely curated. And October, there's a group show in a gallery here. A possible group show in Madrid in November. And
Wow.
well, and a friend of mine moved to Miami last year. She's very close to me. And she called me last week, say, oh, why shouldn't we split like a booth during the fairs in December? We could work together. So we might consider doing like a fair. And for this matter, who should I talk to understand a little bit the logistics of the
Eric.
fairs in December? Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. That's great. Sounds like you're busy.
Yes, yes.
George, how about you? I see you, I can't see you, but I see you're with us. So what's going on? You're on mute.
Basically, okay. Thank you for getting in touch with me. Basically, the same thing. Getting ready with Santa Fe, and really busy this summer, especially after Art New York. So just getting in there, just hanging loose there. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Sophie, what have you got planned this summer? You're on mute. There you go.
Moving.
Moving.
Yeah, I bought a house.
Woo! That's big
I bought a
stuff.
house with a very big garage, which is going to become my studio.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what my plans are for the next couple weeks. And then after that, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm starting my inventory, which is much bigger than what I thought it was. And I keep sending submissions to art galleries. Still no success with those people that have power trips. Excuse me for saying that. I've been taking advice from Linda, and I entered a lot of contests and becoming member of a lot of artist association, Women Artists of America, Women Artists of Canada, Federation of Artists, Western Artists, Horse Artists. I've got lots of things going on like that. And I realized that I can't just rely on going to solicit galleries. So I'm planning on doing a couple shows and looking into that now. And one of my objectives for 225 was to attend an art retreat workshop in Europe, and I booked one for Italy for September.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. Yay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Finally.
So I'm busy.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, hi there. You just joined us.
Mary Lynn,
Yeah, Mary Lynn. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
Good, good. So we were just talking about, everyone was sharing what their plans are for the summer. Art walks, studio tours, fairs, festivals. What's on your schedule?
Santa Fe,
Okay,
next up for me.
yeah, good.
So just prepping for that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so all good stuff. Yeah, we're also getting ready and looking forward to Santa Fe. I think it's going to be really fun this year. Art Santa Fe. We're celebrating the 25th Art Santa Fe. And
Great.
we're getting some, nice community involvement and some really lovely partnerships with the International Folk Art Market, with New Mexico museums, with Site Santa Fe. So there's some nice partnerships that are sort of evolving there that I think will just add to the whole spirit of the week. So one of the things we started to talk about at the end of last month's meeting was inventory. And some of you had various inventory systems that you were using.
Mhm.
And I thought we'd just talk a little bit about that. And Sophie, you said you started doing your inventory, found out you have more than you thought you did. That's usually the case. It's kind of like cleaning out a closet. Um, in some aspects, it's like, wow, I didn't know I still had that. So yeah, so it's always a good exercise, and it's always a good thing to know what you have and where it is. Because knowing where it is, if it's not with you, if it's in a gallery, if it's in storage somewhere, all of that becomes important, especially if you're pulling together for a show, for any kind of a promotion. You need to know where your art is, especially if you sell it. It's a really good idea. So anybody having, some really, fabulous inventory stories?
I do.
Okay, go.
So Sophie, if you've got a lot of pieces of art and I'm not going to name any names, but I know a couple artists that have this, they have tons of art, like they are very prolific and they can paint pretty quickly and you have clients that are interested, or friends or family or whatever it may be, a collector that you might have met in Santa Fe that is still kind of interested or following you on email or something. It never hurts to take one of your older pieces that you've had for a couple of years or whatever and give it to them.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, look, this is a gift from me to you. And trust me, over the next year, they'll buy something from you because they're going to feel obligated to. But, I mean, your cost of goods is not that high. It's your talent that's worth everything. So you're giving away something there, but it's just a nice gesture, and you don't have to give them the piece they're looking for by any means, but you can give them just a small piece, whether it be 24 by 24 or 18 by just a smaller piece, and as a gift to make that relationship genuine and heartfelt, and you'll sell them a piece of art down the road.
That's a very good idea. I will do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
Very good idea.
Especially if you're just beginning and you don't have a big broad spectrum of collectors. It's a good way to get to reach out and knock on a door and get a door open. So, yeah.
Good idea.
You know,
Thank
my
you.
next door neighbor is an artist, and you saying that, Eric, reminds me of Cecilia did exactly that. She had a bunch of art, you know, it was all stacked up in storage, and she gave a piece to us. She gave a piece to a couple of other friends, and she gave a piece to a local hospital. And the piece that was in the local hospital, as a result of that, people came to her, and this one guy came and he bought like 5 pieces. She was thrilled. So yeah, you never know what can happen when you do something like that. It's a really great idea, Eric.
Yeah, I'll give you my biggest success story was I was going through a divorce. We had a huge home I had to sell. And I had a big garage sale. And I had a grand piano. And I paid $30,000 for this piano. Well, I didn't play it. Somebody else did. But it wasn't leaving. And so this lady shows up, and I was a big gardener. So I had all these pots. I mean like 50 to 100 pots, and you know, all that stuff you plant things in and stuff. And this lady shows up and she says, "How much for all the pots?" And I said, "Well, what do you need them for?" And she goes, "Well, we put flowers in them and plants in them, and then we sell them at the community center for, which Kelly ran, for the Veterans Administration, and then we give the money to the veterans." And I said, "You can have them all. I'll help you load them up." And then she said to me, "What else do you have?" And I said, "I got a piano." And she bought it for the church.
No kidding.
Wrote me a check for 20 grand or something and bought the piano for her church. And I was like, if I didn't give her those pots, I would have never sold this piano.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah. And she did. And then I said, "I'll move it over there for you." And I had it delivered to her church, and she gave it to the church. Who knew that she had, $20,000 to donate for the church? But yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, those are, yeah. I mean, I've given that advice to artists before and seen much success come from it. So.
Rennie and I did something just exactly like that. We went down to a sale in Chicago about a month ago, and it was some of our older work. And what we didn't sell there, we had decided we were going to give to friends and collectors and family members that wanted the pieces that were left over, and they all went, and we couldn't be more thrilled. And people are still coming around. "Hey, I'd like to get a piece. What do you have available?"
That's great.
So, yeah.
We also
I-
do that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Shireen, go ahead.
We have different groups like our local Humane Society and, different nonprofits that will have an annual auction or such. And I mean, the people that attend those, I mean, they're not really black tie down here, but those more formal events for your community are your collector base.
Yeah.
So you generally make a really nice impression, and you're doing something good to help whatever nonprofits you may decide to support. But then when you do show up at another event, you'll find that you do get so many people that say, "Oh, I saw that piece. I didn't get it, but now I like this piece." And, even just being known in your community, and you get the tax write-off, and you get, to do something nice for your community. So we have different groups that we do annual donations to, and they're so happy, anyhow. So, yeah.
And Shireen, I've been watching Landman, so I know how much money those people have down there.
Eric has a joke. How do you become a Texas millionaire? Start off a Texas billionaire.
Yeah.
They love
Yeah.
to spend money down here. It's crazy.
Great. Good.
I was also thinking of partnering with a real estate agent and lend her some pieces for home staging.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I live in a big horse community, and they're big houses. So when she sells a house and there's nice paintings in it, it could be a good thing for me.
That's a great idea.
Mhm.
That's a great idea.
Shireen, I had the other art fair, Shireen, that you were just talking about. Is that just for Texas residents, and what kind of art is it?
No, they do art fairs. It was our first time doing a fair with them, and we were looking for something a little closer to home, so that was nice. It was only about a 7-hour drive. And they do fairs there. I think they have an LA, a Chicago, and a New York, if I'm correct.
And London.
And London, yeah. I would say a lot of nice artists, just like you see with the Redwood group, very similar feel, setup of booths, and just a nice group of people running it. It was, like I said earlier, it was funny because it was the first fair we've done that felt like, other than maybe just a smaller community show, that you really were getting a lot of residential. It was definitely a print show. We sold originals, which was really nice. But a lot of people had originals up and were selling prints. It was a very print heavy show. People doing prints that were beautifully framed, so a higher dollar one. And ladies from Italy and from a couple from England that I got to be good friends with. And then a lot of US people from all over the country. So yeah, I definitely think it's nice to do some that are closer to home also. But yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so any inventory, back to inventory stories? Anybody with an inventory success? How are you going about establishing your inventory? Spreadsheets?
But what I've started doing is I was or am still part of Artwork Archive, but I've started doing my own spreadsheet, and I'm thinking I'm going to cancel Archive because I can do on my spreadsheet what I've been able to do on Artwork Archive with, less money. And, I put the title, the size, the medium, where it's displayed, who bought it. I have all of that information available. I just need to figure out how to create reports with that, but I'll get there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Sophie?
So it's a new platform. It's called, like I said the other time, it's Art Sala, and it's really not expensive because I attended a webinar. I got it like I think for $60 for a lifetime. So it's really inexpensive, and it's very basic and user friendly. It's just the information that you need for your inventory. There's no fluff around it or whatever. It's the painting, the where it is, what it is. You could do for paintings for whatever. They have categories. It's very, very user friendly. It's not a gorgeous marketing thing. It's very basic, but it's very efficient, and you can put a picture of your painting, multiple pictures of your paintings if you have different angles or whatever. And I started using that. So far, it's going very well. That's what I said. It's nice because then you can have reports from, have they been sold? Have they been donated? Are they in the garage? Are they whatever? Did they go to Santa Fe? Did they go to New York? You can all add all that up, and I find it really simple, user friendly. I enjoy that. I didn't want, and when you start at the bottom of building your inventory, it's a lot of work. So
Yeah.
making it easy and user friendly is easier than if there's a lot of fluff around it, and a lot of, Artwork Archive is a lot of noise for me. So I enjoy that Art Sala.
Thank you.
So far, I enjoy it.
Can you put in the chat, Sophie, the The name of,
the sort,
could you put in
sorry?
the chat the name of the,
the website, yes, I'll put it
Yeah.
here.
That's great. That's good.
It's a lot of work up front. I think it's a really good idea, and I hadn't thought of this yet, but in my inventory to put the sizes of the pieces, because I find that I'm constantly having to go remeasure or to go find where I had
Yeah, exactly.
put the size before. So just to have that central location would be good, but it is definitely a lot of upfront work to get all of that in one place. I think I've started
Absolutely.
with just
And
a couple.
in this one, you can even if you're making prints of your work, you can even add those on that you have prints from that one.
Right.
And you can, you know, you can do notes, and you can even from your inventory, you just press a button and it builds with a website very, very
Oh.
easily. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good thing. Yeah. I'm just doing mine on Excel to begin with,
Right.
because I can, it's pretty easy, but yeah, may progress to something like that.
That's what I'm doing. I just went back to Access actually, which is a more involved Excel, but same thing. You can put the title, you can put the medium, the size. Haven't figured out how to track the limited editions yet, but I will. You know, what you're asking for it, where it is, if it's sold, who bought it. You can put any field in there you want to, like you know, with Excel, and then create your reports to manage it.
and for the limited editions, we should have the track of what is sold as well, right?
Yes.
Very, okay.
If
You
you're
know,
gonna make a unit.
and which number it was that was sold.
Yes.
But I think that the thing that is important here is, you know, get it set up, get something set up. And as you create new pieces, yes, Vivian's absolutely right. It's hard. It takes some time to go back and figure out, okay, now let me, you know, find all that information. It was a piece that was sold. It's kind of like out, you know, out of your purview. But it's important to have that record, have the record if you've got that information of who it was sold to and so forth. But as you're creating new pieces, put those in. You know, you can go back and capture history, but remember, don't, you know, just put the new pieces in as you're creating them, and then they're already there. Or at least foundationally, they're already there. And then you can go back if you decide to make a limited edition with them, you can add that if you decide, or if you sell it, or that it is exhibited.
You can always fine tune the information if you get that basic stuff in there.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before, but you know, one of the important aspects of your artwork is its provenance. And where it's been, what shows it's been in, has it you know, even knowing who it's sold to, that becomes part of the provenance of that piece. So, you know, all of that information, or as much of that information as you can record, is important.
Question about provenance. We have had collectors ask for provenance paperwork on our artwork. How important is that going to be going forward for us?
It's not really provenance, it's certificate of authenticity. So
okay,
that's all. Provenance is, it's really not important to any of us on this call unless you're buying a Monet piece.
Got it.
You know,
okay.
See where it's been, what museums,
all right,
actors might have had it, things like that.
All right.
Certificate of authenticity is always important. I could talk about that a little bit. It's just a certificate that the artist or the publisher or the gallery gives to the purchaser, the collector, and it documents that piece. So, you know, 3 trees, 24 by 36, painted in 2024. Original, mixed media, whatever it might be, any information you want to put on there, and then, you know, you sign it, and it's just a piece of paper, and it has the value. So let's say Sophie sold a piece 10 years ago to somebody for $600, and it was a big piece, 40 by 40 or something. And today her pieces 40 by 40 are now selling for 3,500. Well, she could go back to those people and say, and I used to do this all the time, whenever something went up in value, I would issue them a new certificate of authenticity. And I'd say, destroy your old one.
Okay.
Here's a new certificate of authenticity for insurance purposes. You know, some people have riders on their art collection, or, you know, things like that, or jewelry, or, you know, things like that. And, you know, the value of the piece has gone up. And, you know, you might consider buying another one. Let me know. And that's a way to just open the door a little bit to them and say, hey, you know, my work's been selling, prices are going up a little bit. If you want to purchase another piece, I'll honor the former price for another couple months, stuff like that.
Well,
But, yeah, certificates are important.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up for us.
Yeah.
So Eric, on that certificate, like for my limited edition photography, should I put the price on the certificate? Because I do the certificate and then a bill of sale with it.
We can put the price on the certificate, value,
Okay,
not price, just value.
the value.
Yeah, then
Okay.
they can show that to their insurance company if they want to insure it. So recently, this company reached out to me. We get a lot of art company, well, software, shipping, you know, anything to do with art, reach out to us. And it's, the company's name is Cohart, C-O-H-A-R-T. I think they're working with the other art. I know they're working with Superfine. They're not working with the other art fair yet. And then another really small little show that's kind of insignificant. But the two ladies that started Cohart I've had a number of conversations with them, Zoom calls, and I find them very intelligent and just really smart. And they came from the art world. They haven't come from the tech world. They were both involved with galleries and art fairs. And, you know, one lady is, I keep saying girl, one lady is Vietnamese. They're just younger than me, right? They're a lot younger than I. But one lady is Vietnamese, and she was doing Art Basel, Hong Kong, and she's done some really high-end fairs. And anyway, they've created a product for artists that is basically, you know, everything you need on your phone, and it actually accepts payment, has your inventory, has your collector base, has everything on your phone. And we've partnered with them starting tomorrow. They're supposed to sign the agreement tomorrow. I just talked to them today. And they're going to be in Santa Fe and San Diego and Spectrum, and then Art Expo New York, our next 4 events through April of 26. And they'll have a small booth there so they can service people and, you know, obtain new collectors and things like that. I really like their product, and, you know, everything that I've seen about it so far, I've really liked. I told them, let's just partner up for the next year and kind of see, you know, where this goes. They are funded to the tune of $5.5 million by 4 venture capital firms. And that sounds like a lot of money, and it's not, it's just, it is, but it isn't, you know. I mean, you got 4 different firms just kind of taking a rider on this. So, but I think they're going to be very successful.
I actually got an email from them too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. That's why I raised my hand. I was about to ask if this was a serious company, but
Yeah.
as
Right.
you are partnering with them, I'm assuming it is. Yes, I got an
Yeah.
email yesterday or something.
Yeah, it's free. It's a freemium model.
Free. Okay.
And then as you go down the road, you can send emails from your phone to your collectors and load art up, and you know, it's pretty intuitive. Eventually, if you get big enough, you know, you're gonna have to pay some fees to do certain things. That's gonna be their model. I mean, they're gonna have to make money somehow, right? So down the road, as they build their clientele, they'll go from the freemium model to some kind of a upgrade model. You won't have to pay for the free stuff you'll never have to pay for the initial standard thing, but as you upgrade, you'll have to pay for other things, I'm sure. But anyway,
Cool.
we don't, you know, they're going to be on a call with everybody who's doing Santa Fe prior to Santa Fe. We'll set up a Zoom call, one of these calls.
Okay.
And they'll introduce their product, and then they'll start supporting people. And then in Santa Fe, I'm sure they'll sign a few more people up. You know, obviously in Miami and New York, our big events, you know, they're really excited about those. Yeah, and I think they take a 1% fee for transactions right now.
That's what the email said.
Yeah, it's cheaper than, we paid 3%.
Mhm.
I mean, you know. So, I mean, we charge, like, if you didn't have a way to take money at our shows, you can go to Meta or, you know, our finance people, and we can swipe your credit card and take the money for you, but we charge 9%. And the reason I do that is I don't want to do it.
Right.
Number one, because it costs us 3 to 3.5% or 4% for America, you know, depending on what the credit card fees. And then, you know, we add another 5% on there just to do the work, because we've got to cut you a check and wire the money. It's, you know, we got to document all that stuff. So that's about the cheapest we could do it for. But and people don't mind. And a lot of people sell work at our shows, you know, and then they just say, keep the money for my next booth or something. And that's fine too. But their 1% is really inexpensive. So anyway. I don't want to be it's not an infomercial today. It will be.
No, it's actually good to know, because many of us have gotten this email and I just dismissed it because I figured it was yet another thing reaching out, but it was
So,
not.
and just so you know, we never share, they didn't get your email from us. We don't share your contact information with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting timing. Certainly they, you know, we haven't yet posted our exhibitor list for Santa Fe. That goes up the 1st of June. So, you know, they're finding you somehow. They're finding you from other things that you're doing Google searches for artists, and spending some good time, you know, finding qualified artists. So I think that to me also speaks well of them in terms of how they're reaching out and how they're connecting with artists.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many people have come in with technology tools that are, look, you can take a picture of the art and then somebody can look at what it looks like on there. All these gimmicks, right? They're just gimmicks is what they are. And, you know, they actually have a very valuable product is what I'm thinking. So.
Yeah, at first, when they first contacted us, I was like a little skeptical in terms of, is this just another one of those kind of gimmicky things? But you know, we took a deeper look at it, and I think it's very interesting. And they've done, you know, they've had some relationships, like Eric was mentioning, at some other fairs at Superfine and a couple of others. And it, you know, from what they're reporting, it went really well. So we'll see what happens. Kind of interesting. So it's a service for exhibitors as well as for collectors. So I think that's what kind of makes it different than some of the
And
others.
it's free?
And
It's free?
It's free.
Nothing's free.
No.
It's
Yeah.
you know, it's free.
There's a catch. There
Well,
is a catch.
It's free until you sell something, and then they're gonna charge 1%.
It's even, nothing's free.
Yeah,
No.
and you
Eventually,
know,
eventually they'll be reaching in and
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
We
they
got a
get
new
early and then want a little bit more later.
yeah.
Yeah, because like Eric says, they've got to make money somehow, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
So-
right now they're funded, and you know they're making headway. Yeah,
The only way that they could keep it free, you know, forever is if they were selling advertisement to a canvas company or framing companies,
Yep.
and they were
Getting underwritten.
generating enough revenue to keep things going. And that's really, really, really hard to do, you know. I mean, I got an email this morning from Freeze, and they're trying to get you to take a survey about their magazine. And how often do you read it? Once a year, 5 times a year, whatever. They're trying to get rid of their print product is what they're trying to do, and they just go digital because paper printing and postage is a killer. I mean, I own Art Business News, and we shut the print product down like 10 years ago. I mean, you know, we've been in business for 16 years now, and I think we ran it for about 6 years, right, Linda? And then
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just too expensive, you know, so. But if they can generate enough advertising, you know, or Tiffany's, something like that. So,
Do you regret going to straight digital for Art Business News? No, your
no,
readers don't regret it. I like having paper in hand when I'm reading, but I'm old, so, you know, I
Me
like the
too.
feel. Yeah, right.
Me too.
I have a whole box in the garage. I'll send you, Linda, and then
That's
And
okay.
then he'll sell you a piano.
Exactly.
That's great.
you know, the question is, we're willing to do anything, and we certainly know how to print magazines and catalogs and things like that, but you know, everybody has gone from printing, even at fairs, you know, you used to get thick catalogs or booklets or whatever. Nobody passes those out anymore.
Right.
And you know, if people were willing to pay for it, like if every artist wanted to pay $1,000 for a page and we sold 100 pages, okay, 100 grand, we can do it. But other than that, it's really hard to do. And then how many are you going to print, right? 5,000, 10,000 maybe.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, I remember going to shows even before I owned Art Expo 20 years ago, and we'd have a whole pallet of catalogs sitting there when the show was over, and you're like,
Oh,
Yeah, landfill.
yeah.
so it's tough.
you know, I was
All the Gen Z and Gen Xers and millennial, they all go online.
I know.
I was curious. We had a call with, we have regular calls with the marketing team at the International Folk Art Market. And, you know, they still print a multiple page catalog for the market. And I was always, you know, when I saw this thing, it's beautiful. It's like a magazine size. And then I found out, well, they have a relationship with the Santa Fe New Mexican and the local newspaper. The Santa Fe New Mexican, in their relationship with the International Folk Art Market, prints program.
Okay.
So they're not IFAM, the International Folk Art Market, they're not, the cost of doing it isn't on them. It's not part of their budget. It's something that the Santa Fe New Mexican does for IFAM, and they also have no control over the number of pieces. You know, Diego was talking the other day during our meeting that they really don't have enough. You know, okay, so now you've got this printed piece, everybody wants one. And they don't even have enough and they have a huge group of volunteers during IFAM. They don't have enough of those printed pieces to give one to each of their volunteers.
Wow.
And he, there's nothing, you know, unless they wanted to pay for an overrun. And, you know, they don't have the budget to do that. They're, you know, so it's kind of stuck, but it's sort of explained to me because I couldn't figure out how they were doing this. Especially, you know, they've got a huge attendee base, and they don't have enough to go around to all of the attendees either. So anyway, you know, and I did say to him, have you thought about going digital? He said, yeah. He said, the problem is, yes, we would absolutely go digital, but this is something, you know, that the New Mexican is providing as part of their, so I guess, you know, it's sort of the good news, bad news, because it creates a problem because he doesn't have enough of them. So yeah, so
Do both.
it's interesting. Okay, guys, well, thanks for today. You got something, Sophie?
Well, not for today, maybe, but for next time, can we talk about prints and maybe how many prints should we do? How do we choose which one to do? Should we do multiple sizes? Should we do them in advance or just when they're ordered? I'm kind of like, if you ask me to choose which of my paintings I do prints of, I go, well, I want to do all of them, I guess. But you know, it's how do you choose your prints and stuff like that? Maybe we could discuss that next time or something.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. It's a good topic.
Thank
It's a
you.
really good
Definitely do
topic.
that.
It's a good topic.
Mhm.
There's a lot to be learned there.
There is a lot to be learned.
Not all paintings transfer to prints properly, so
Exactly.
we can talk about that next time.
That'd be
Okay, so I don't want to miss next meeting.
There you go.
Okay,
Hi everyone. Just I wanted to say hello. I'm not joining the meeting that often because I was typically busy on Wednesday. I have a question for another meeting. I have making drawings that I frame under glass, and I have some customer who don't like glass. And so I wanted to know what was your experience with that, if you have any. And I'm starting to investigate how to mount my drawings on board instead of having them under glass. But that might be a question that we could discuss next time.
sure.
That would be great. It's a good idea. Be happy to. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
again.
Thank
Always
you.
good.